Hi, this is Anne-Marie Miller on the Be Aware Holistic Healthcare discussions. And so today's the letter is C, and C in this day and age is quite controversial, another C. However, the first word I'd like to put out is commitment. Health requires commitment, particularly in holistic health, because body, mind and emotions, which are interconnected, require a certain level of attention all the time. Whether or not you're conscious of it or unconscious of it, something is going on within your existence that's going to be contributing to the disruption or the contribution to your health. So commitment's very important. The next word which I'm going to throw out is courage, because it takes a lot of courage these days to own your own health. There's so much controversial and contradictions with what's going on out in society about what's appropriate for health, what's not appropriate for health, who's allowed to do this, who's not allowed to do such things in the environment for the health care of the community and the planet. And so courage to stand up and start to critically think, all these C words, fantastic, critically think about what you are listening to in regards to health and healthcare. So a couple of years ago, I won a grant to study a course on cancer and herbal medicine. And remembering, if you haven't watched the early ones, I did mention somewhere, hopefully, that plant medicine, herbal medicine, indigenous around the planet, is the most dominant form of medicine, primary healthcare. And that's according to WHO. So any skeptics out there, just research it and you'll find that the majority of people on the planet use herbs. So anyway, I won a grant to study through a professor that I'd studied with at University of New England in Armidale, Australia. And that was my Master's in Health Science postgrad. And he has formulated a course on cancer and herbal therapy. And so I studied that. And from that, I developed this piece of work, which I have in the background, on a holistic molecular perspective of cancer development. And I was fortunate enough and honoured to be invited to speak at a conference that went around the planet, an international conference on cancer, and that was I was invited by Dr. Johan Fleurer. Thank you very much, Gnostics. So cancer is one of the, if not the most studied and talked about chronic diseases. So when we talk about holistic health, there's a lot of aspects that we can do towards or behave with our body, think with our mind, and help with our emotional care that can help slow down the development if there's going to be a dysfunctional development of cancer, because the body is always creating waste products, metabolites, which I spoke about in the last video. And it's really the body's ability to eliminate these cells that are no longer properly functioning and keep rejuvenating with healthy cells. So in this slide, it basically goes around in a cycle from healthy to not so healthy cells and the environments that are conducive to creating a dysfunctional cell. And therefore, as I spoke in the last video, dysfunctional cells, tissues, organs, systems, and then the whole body, because it's all broken down. So without being too boring, I won't go into great detail because it's only a 15-minute video, but there's a lot in science that has been developed about cancer. So we as scientists pretty well know how cancer develops, and whether or not it's through one particular area or another, there is a lot of information out there that generally talks about cancer development. And I've just done this as a holistic perspective rather than honing in on particular cells like circulating tumor cells or the microenvironment itself, or particular genes or oncogenes which have been discovered and familiarized with creating a cancer environment in the body. So the letter C, there's C, cancer is the most chronic form of diseases in the body, and it's long term. I mean, generally speaking, it takes a while. Unfortunately, in children, which is so sad, brain cancer is the leading killer of children, which is disgusting. And it's also realised in science that the genetic mutation is minimal that a child has. Interestingly enough, the area on the around the bicep, beg your pardon, around the just below the deltoid is also a renowned area for the beginning of cancer, and the mutations are very low there that the cancer needs to become develop. So yes, so C is also the beginning, ironically, is also the first letter of the probably most famous now acute illnesses. The dominant microbe or virus for a common cold, another C word, is actually the adenovirus. However, the second most common, and this is in the textbooks, my pathophysiological textbook, microbiology textbooks, is the coronavirus. And coronavirus is extremely popular out in the environment now. And it's got almost an Academy Award for its production in how much it can make people sick. However, awareness of knowing that the disease rate and the morbidity rate of a cold in a healthy young adult, middle-aged adult, and almost going up to what some people call elderly, which is really not elderly unless you're incredibly sick. As a geriatric nurse myself, with that I've been and experienced for many years, the really elderly that I would describe, having nursed them, are the ones that are contractile, immobilized, and extremely sick. And they're the ones in nursing homes, and that's where they die. I mean, that's the reality. We're born, we die, and the people that go to a nursing home, that's where they're going to die, and they're going to die of a respiratory disease. And remembering that this coronavirus, or actually the many that there are out there, because there are so many now. A few months ago, they had recorded in the Science technical articles, it was around 164, and they were focusing on about 8. And now, of course, they're focusing on this famous Delta. So coronavirus is a common cold virus. And yes, when someone gets a really bad cold, if you are elderly, then it's extremely vulnerable and an area where one needs to take care and rest and take whatever is available to help with the rejuvenation of health, back to health, body, mind, and emotion. And so, yes, so the C letter, so the most acute, commonly now talked about acute illness is corona, which is relating to the SARS-2, severe acute respiratory syndrome. That's the comorbidity problems when people have extensive amount of other diseases. Then a cold or any illness will exacerbate those particular areas. And it's situations like someone having a cardiovascular, another C word, disease like high blood pressure or platelet aggravating disorders, then those sort of viruses will also exacerbate them, because that particular one enters the body's circulating blood supply through the ACE2 receptor in the lung cell. So it can be contained within mucous membranes, etc., which protect the airways as we breathe, as well as our digestive and as well as our reproductive. That mucous membranes protects those areas so that viruses or pathogens in general are less able to enter the bloodstream of the body. Because when something goes into the bloodstream, it's going to potentially travel anywhere, and hopefully not through the blood-brain barrier of the brain, because that's where serious problems can happen. However, we do have protective mechanisms, and they all come under one of the main systems, which I'll discuss later on in other videos that are relevant to the letter. So cancer, chronic, and corona is an acute illness, and they both can lead to death, however, not necessarily. So the C word, commitment. So it's all about how much you really want to be physically enduring and strong, mentally clear and cognitive, and emotionally stable and balanced. And those aspects will bring you to a more profound sense of awareness, be aware, and that awareness will allow you to actually experience life with its full capacity and life's blessings, which is the universal energy that we all bathe in, and it exists in all life. So the physicalities of the body are including body, mind, and emotion, because everything is made of energy. Remember, everything is made of energy. Even if we can't see it, we can feel it, or we can think it. If we are sharper in our clarity, we are stronger in our physicality, and we are emotionally stable. So maintaining sanity in all times, particularly in these days, is really important. Being aware and keeping faith in your own capacity to rejuvenate, replenish, and live a really healthy life. I've had cancer, I've had a melanoma, I've had many BCCs, and I've been able to, through my doctor, get rid of them, and also use my medicine that I use as a natural therapist, as a medical herbalist. So there is always hope for anyone out there that has ever had cancer. You just need to research who has experienced experience in professional training, and also clinician work, and also research for your own care through life. So cancer, colds, severe acute respiratory diseases, yes, they're no good. However, they are able to be taken care of, and have the courage and the commitment to do what you need to do. And last word I'd like to say that starts with C is children. The children in the world need to be looked after a whole lot better. And I'm not pointing out any individuals here. I'm just saying that as a parent, and as parents out there who are, just give your children the attention that they need, because that's what they really are there for. They are there to teach us how to be also a better human being, even sometimes if it's giving them space, because they need a space to grow. It's all about caring, which is another C word. So have a beautiful day. Enjoy the sunshine wherever you are on the planet, and take care, look after yourselves, and namaste and love always. Thank you.